In this session, let us talk exclusively about forms. What is forms? First, we'll try to learn what is forms. What? We'll start with what. What is forms? Sir, forms are a tag which can be used to collect, to extract, to receive data from a user. What is the use of it? Collecting or receiving or extracting data from whom? User. This is important. So, yes, see, every day you people are, maybe sometimes you are buying a product from e-commerce applications, right? How e-commerce? Have you ever seen that any e-commerce, if you are looking after your computer, immediately they will read, oh, this guy is planning to buy a samosa, kachori, or laptop. Have you ever seen any e-commerce application is reading your mind? What you have to do? You have to interact with an application, right? Am I right or wrong? See, yes, you started surfing some products. You added the product into cart. After cart, again, if you talk, hey, Flipkart, can you please take me to checkout page? Have you seen such kind of, any interactions there? But very soon, that kind of interactions will also come. Don't worry, because we are in AI world. If you speak also, AI will understand. It will inject to the Flipkart, so that Flipkart, because they need a money, they have to loot your money. That's the reason you see that sometimes when you are paying money from your pocket, immediately all UPIs works well. But if someone wanted to give money to you, network will not work, UPI will not work, people will not pay. See that. See, that is also very important. Here, guys, to extract a data from an user, that is where without a forms, like checkout is also form. Registration into an application, that is also a form. Log into the dashboard, that is also form. Change password, forgot password, change profile picture, and giving your shipping address, billing address, and entering your payment details. All this is form only, right? Without a forms, do you think that applications are there? Now, if you don't know how to build a forms, is it possible for you to survive in IT? That is where who can create forms? HTML developer only can create a forms. I hope you understand what is the use of forms. Collecting, receiving, extracting data from users. Without a forms, but this is very, very important, sir. When you are learning forms, you should also understand validations as well. I'll teach you. Because, sir, I'll talk about validations in detail later, not now. Okay, what is the use of forms? I hope you understand. Then how to create a form. The next question is how. So here, in order to create a forms, you should learn form by using tags. What is that? Tags. Who are they? Then who are they? Here, form is one parent tag. Form tag, it is a parent tag. And form also has elements. What is that? Form elements. Please understand. Form tag and form elements. Here I'll also redraw form tag and form elements. Am I making sense? And form also has attributes. So tags, after that, you should also understand attributes also. It is very, very important. Without a tags and without attributes, you can't even build a forms. Now, the next few minutes, you have to concentrate majorly on the forms and form tags and their attributes. Okay. Now, who are the form tags and what is the form elements? I'll tell you. In form elements, input elements are there. Input. What do you mean by input? The general terminology, if you talk input, means user is going to enter the data. That is called input. User is entering. That is known as inputting. And in our computer, which is the inputting device? Keyboard, then mouse. These two guys are input device. Output device? Monitor, projectors, and even speakers. That's my point. These guys are output devices. But here in forms, there are input elements. It is exclusively, how many elements are there? Let me explain. Input devices. Guys, here, input type text box, wherein user can enter alphabets, alphanumerics, special characters. If you are allowing user to enter alphabets, alphanumerics, and special characters, create an input control called text box. I'll tell you what is the syntax. I'll write a syntax for all of them. Once the theory is over, I'll write a practical. Without a theory, I'm sure freshers cannot understand the concepts. Do remember. And our training institute is not only giving 1 hour or 2 hours training, 8 hours training. How many hours? 8 hours. You have to sit here to, if you want to become an expert to get a job, you have to give a time. 1 hour, 2 hours is not going to give a expertise knowledge. 1 to 2 hours training, then 3 to 4 hours practicals, again 3 to 4 hours project and other interpersonal skills you have to improve. That is the reason 8 hours if you have a time. If you don't have 8 hours time, at least you have to have a 4 hours time. If you are lesser than 4 hours, if you are spending, don't join any other place. It is a time waste and money waste for you. I'm giving honest suggestions. Taking it or leaving it is up to you. Simple. Come back here. Text box. It will generate a text box. Then password. It generate a password control. Then hidden. It generate a hidden text box. What is the next one? Hidden. It will also generate a text box, but text box will not be visible. Invisible text boxes, if you want to create, then go for hidden. I'll tell you when are we going to use this, guys. Next. Input type file. This is going to allow user to select a file from his local computer. Either you can upload your profile picture, you can upload your resume, you can upload your Aadhaar card, you can any file if you want to select from your local computer, you must create, developer has to create an input type file, then it will allow user to select a local file. Am I making sense? Then input type radio and input type checkbox and input type submit and input type reset. So whatever I discussed, these guys are input types. How many input types that we learned? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 input types. Sir, these all are older version input types. What is this, guys? Older versions. But same HTML5 inputs. HTML5 input. Again, they have added new input types in HTML5. Please understand HTML5 input types. Again, I'm listing down here input type email. Input type no, password is a older type. Email, maybe in case if I would like to collect a email related information, I have to go for email. In case if I want to collect search, any search related operations, if I want to implement, I must go for a search. Input type is equal to search. Earlier, for all this, we are using text box, which is not semantic. That is where HTML5 team, they released a new input tags, which are all semantic. It is powerful now. That's my point. Search. In case if we want to collect a data from a user, URL data. What is URL stands for? Uniform Resource Locator. It is a website address. www.achieversit.com. Think about it. If you give www, that is a standard syntax, right? But some people will give www dot, just only two, www dot. 3 W's are important. What is 3 W? World Wide Web. What is W3C? W3C. Can anyone tell me? What is C stands for? Consortium. It is an organization. World Wide Web Consortium. Thank you so much. Give her a round of applause. If someone is answered, if I am failed to answer, you have to support them, right, sir? Come back to the concept. See, URL means there is a standard HTTP or HTTPS. What is the standard URL, sir? It will start from either HTTP or HTTPS : /2 followed by www dot domain name, then domain name and domain type. What type of a domains? I hope you have seen already domains. .com domain, .in domain, .org domain, .io domains, .dev domains. Now domains are also different types scale. In case if it is a Indian government related domains means .gov.in. Got my point? Commercials.com. Only specific to Indian country .in. .co.in. This is all types of a domains. Now you have to give a type also here, domain type. But in our case, now you see that my domain name is AchieversIT followed by commercial domain. We are not only dealing in India, we are also dealing in worldwide. That's the reason we are purchasing .com domain. That's my point. That .com domains has a lot of authenticity, authority, domain value also, not for specific domains. Hope you understand. Sir, think about it. If users are not giving a proper valid URL, and which means that it is a completely burden for a company. If they are giving invalid URLs, and if you are sending any data, or if you click, if it is not working, then why should we collect invalid data? Is that a right approach to collect invalid data? That is where to collect the data from an user, you have to use the right element, right place. And you should also do validations. Sir, users are very smart enough. Even if the institutions are there to give a quality of training, they will not join that institutions. They will join a place where they will see the crowd. They feel crowd means, oh, good institution. Sir, we also have a crowd. For one batch recently, 80 members, 90 members also we are adding. But for technical courses, we'll never ever add more than 30 members. Minimum it will start 50, maximum we'll wind up with 35 because technical trainings should not treat 200, 300, 100, 50 also it is a problem. That is where our batch sizes is limited. Here also you see how many people are there. Is there any crowd? No, I can even address each one of them. That is the reason I'm watching each one of the face and who is active, who is not active also I'm able to see. If 50 members are there, company will get a money, but student won't get a quality of learning. Am I making sense? Choose a right place. That is also very important. Come back here. When we are collecting a URL, URL is an element which collects the proper URL format. If it is improper format of a data, if user enters, it stops collecting it. That is one of the beauty of HTML5 input elements. At the same time, DOB, what is the DOB stands for? Date of birth. To collect a date of birth related, date is a control. What is the control? It will pick up, it will give you calendar. By selecting a calendar, I'm sure you can even easily select. Instead of giving, maybe if you go to Facebook, I'll show you Facebook registration. Facebook.com if I use. Now, if I don't have an account, create a page for brand for business. Where is account? How can I create account, boss? Oh, this is login. Yeah, here is there. Create a new account. See, such a bigger terms are there, but I'm a blind fellow. I'm still searching was where is it? See, you see that for collecting a date of birth, this is one drop down. This is another drop down. This is another drop down. For filling a date of birth, how many times that user has to interact? Is that a good interface? But I am not a such kind of a great fellow to complain against Facebook. Maybe their requirement is same. The client is happy. Sometimes clients are, even though if we are providing a quality food, client will say that, no, I want that food only. Whatever he asks, we have to provide that. But here, This is a drop down that can also be created by using HTML. Okay. But this is radio button. You see that what is this? Radio, male and female. Here you have to observe one thing. I'm taking live example. Sir, male. If I click female, if I click male, both of them are selected or one only? It is toggle behavior. What is the behavior known as? Toggling. Any one. How come it's possible? And again, there is another one called custom. What is custom gender? Transgender. That's my point. Yes, this Facebook is not only for male and female, it can also be for transgender as well. They would like to understand. Okay, fine. Now you see that even if I'm keep selecting any one of them, that's my point. Other radio button selection is deselected. How? There is a logic. Sir, if you are not giving a common name for all three radio buttons, I'm sure every radio button will be checked. If you are not giving a common name, every radio button will be checked. You have to give a common name to, if user select one radio button, if you are selecting another radio, then make sure that for two radio buttons, you have to give a common name. I'll write a code and I'll show you the problem as well. That's okay. Now you see that, what is this one? This sounds like a submit input. This is also submit button. If I click, now see that I am a stupid user, even though I'm not entering any details. Is Facebook is taking you to the next level? That is called validations. Validations is also possible using HTML. That is what 2 to 3 sessions I'll try to take for forms alone. Why? Because forms are very, very crucial. It is very important. Okay, fine. So I'm coming back to the concept. So here, submit and reset. These two guys are action inputs. Rest all guys are normal inputs. Okay, fine. Date is for collecting a date-related information. And one more is time. We can also collect the time-related data from a user. For that, you have to use time control. In case, if I am planning to select a color-related, sometimes, for example, I am looking for a pink color dress, but the website does not contain pink color dress. In such cases, if the website is giving an option for customizing, pick up your color, submit, so that the admin team will collect, oh, this user is looking for pink, which is not available in our store, so that they can even procure a pink color. They can notify a user. In that way, they can satisfy user or not. If such feature is not there in application, then we are losing a business. To select a custom color from a user, then color, input type color, it will help you to select a color from the web page. That's my point, sir. Then sometimes a range. What is range? There are many applications you have seen the range. If my budget is 1,000 rupees, why should I research a product which is more than 1,000? It is a time-based job for me, right? Even if I'm going to the application, I can go back to the filter, select my range is 500 to 1,000, enough. Why do I do overactions, by searching 5,000, 10,000? It is a time waste for me. My money is not there. If that feature is not there, user faces unwanted problems. This is all benefits for user. If you guys know how to use it, then you are the one who is going to get a job first. This is how you must learn. And date time, along with that, there is one more option called month also is there. What is that? Month. Every attribute, every element has a benefit bus. I'm not talking about attributes. I'm talking about only that to input elements. I'm not talking other elements. That to here, how many input elements? 8 input elements. Here also there are few input elements. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And in case if you wanted to collect any kind of a number, Aadhaar card or credit card, such kind of data, if you want to collect, what is the type? Input type? Number is also there. This will accept only numbers. In case, sir, phone number is not same as Aadhaar number. What is your good name? Why are you yawning? You are getting sleep. Okay, so fine. So tell is also there. What is that next control? Input type tell. Sir, patience is the key to success. What is that? Patience is the key to success. Sir, to learn this many technologies, am I referring any document? Are you guys observing? Am I seeing any notebook or any? No. From where I am picking? Picking from my brain, my storage. How did I store? I'm managing my data. My memory also used for only certain purpose, not for unwanted data. By practice only it is possible for me to store. Otherwise, by birth, I'm not HTML developer. Even my father is not HTML developer. But how did I learn? Practice, practice. Sir, I have built more than thousands of projects. Seriously. My point. Even the sessions also I have given more than thousands of sessions I used to. Fine. Even if you want to become an expert, watch my sessions again and again and again. Until you become an expert, watch my sessions. Once you become an expert, just ignore. Not a problem. Okay, here, totally how many are there? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And one more input type button is also there. What is that? Input type button. And button tag is also there. Input type button is also there. And we'll try to learn in a project. Don't worry. Both of them are same. Input type is equals to button and button. Both of them are remain same. But there is a difference between input type is equal to button, input type is equal to submit. It is 100% interview question. Both looks output wise, both look same. But the functionality wise, input type submits a form to the defined action. Whereas coming to input type button or a button will never ever submit a form. Now form submission is very, very crucial. Sir, think about it. You entered into the bank. But in a bank, you have filled all the details for withdrawing amount. But you are not giving that particular withdrawal slip to teller. Then how teller is going to understand that you came to bank for withdrawal? You filled a form, but there should be some system to collect that, right? Similarly, here if you are creating a form, backend is much needed for collecting the form. The backend team, that is where you have to have a communication, you have to have an attitude, you should also have a knowledge to interact with the teammates. That is where team building activities also you must learn. Some people, when I look at their face, I don't know why. I'm wondered. Am I asking your property? No. While looking at your face, people should feel, wow, see how she is laughing, so that I'll get energy, so that I'll not go out of a topic. But if I'm so serious, you will also be. And seriously, you can't do anything. Do you all know that? Serious learner will die seriously very soon. But sometimes you laugh, but don't keep on laughing. Then people will try to treat you as mental guy. Come back to the concept. I loved it. I gained the knowledge now. Energy. If you love, what is that hormone generates? Dopamine is one of the hormone it generates. It refreshes your brain. Your brain is a superpower boss, but he is also super killer. You should know how to use the brain. And I'm using it, luckily. Good. Come back to the concept. Sir, any problems are you facing here? Am I going fast? Or am I going, slow? Or am I teaching nonsense? If anything is there, raise your voice. I'm happy. I collect your comments also positive and I'll try to come back. Now, this is what, so only input elements I'm going to teach today. Then apart from input, there are many other elements are also much needed. Now, theory part is done. Let us next 15 minutes, let us focus on coding. Coding. But many people used to say that coding is tough. Oh my God, in the world, coding is easy. But you people are saying that HTML is not programming. Don't ever try to think that it is coding. It is just a markup language. If you guys are good enough in listening and good enough in English, HTML, CSS can be easily understandable. That's my point. Coding is dead easy in case if you guys are trained under right trainers and right institute. That is very important. Now, coders are the one who is creating a miracles, who is creating history in IT. Who will get a good packages, madam? Coders will get more packages or other than coders? Coders are the one who is getting a good packages. Seriously. Who creates application? Coder. Who tested application? Tester. Who is going to deploy an application? Cloud engineer and deployment engineer. Out of all three, who is first? If the coder is not there, there is no point of testing. If there is no testing, there is no point of deployment. And first step is coding. That too, back-end coding, too much logics that you have to write. But front-end coding, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. If you don't know copy paste, then what to do? Now you are not in 2004. I started writing a code in 2004. In 2004, is there any ChatGPT? Google also not developed. Internet was also not developed. Even network. Sir, I used to pay 500 rupees for 150 MB of data. How much? 150 MB, not GB boss. But I have to use Nokia PC suite, Sony Ericsson PC suite. Smartphones also I don't have. Small smartphones. See, in my college, I was the guy who got a first smartphone. That too, I bought it by earning my own money. I work for Infosys as a part-time supervisor for examination centers. They gave me some amount. In that, I purchased Walkman series of Sony. But I installed one software. Sir, if I connect that software, maybe if something goes wrong in the network, again, it will try to take 5 to 10 minutes to reconnect again. To open a Gmail, I have to wait 1 day. That kind of stage. Now you guys are lucky enough. You should be thankful to Jio, no matter whatever the money that you are paying, but the service is there, not, isn't it? You are a luckiest people in this generation. Maybe next generation even more lucky. Next to next generation is worst people. Why? Because they will get everything easy. That is where their brain is not going to be used. Whoever is not using brain, they will die very soon. Come back to the concept here. Now, so far I discussed about theory concepts. Now I am going to build one practical. How I am writing a code, you have to copy my code because you have to copy from the final, not from any other place. Now for writing a code, I am writing, sir, let me create one example. Inside an HTML, let me create one folder. I'll create a folder called with the name of forms. Inside that, I'll create a first, let me talk about new file. Yes. Inside a forms, I'm going to talk forms and form underscore elements. What I'm going to teach here, forms and form elements. The file name also, sir, I'm creating in a proper way. Forms and form elements. Now here I am using underscore, but I'll use hyphen based. Hyphen based file names are search engine friendly file names. It is mandatory. You must learn. Don't try to use capital letters, combination of capital, small letters, underscore, hyphen, @. Please don't use such kind of file names. File name should be always hyphen based file names if the file name is more than one word. Simple. Extension should be dot followed by HTML, not HTML. Recommended one is HTML. Why? The parsers, browsers, or a parsers, by reading your extension of a file only, they can understand this is HTML language. Otherwise, you are going to trouble your browser. You are going to trouble your parser. You are writing a C code, but you are giving an extension as py. Then Python interpreter, it will die, it will run away, and it will never ever give a proper output. Am I making sense, sir? Here also you are writing HTML code. Then give an extension as HTML. Inside an HTML, you can inject CSS also. Inside an HTML, you can inject a JavaScript. Inside HTML, you can inject a ReactJS. But inside an HTML, you cannot inject Java. You cannot inject Python. You cannot inject Python. Is there any Python program? I have seen there was a program name called Kafka, and also diabetes. It's the tool's name. And one more tool name called in DevOps Pig. Pig is also tool name. Oh my God. Diabetes, it is also one of the tool name. But there is no Python. Maybe I am planning to release a Python program very soon. I'm come back to the concept. I saved a file. Sir, here I'm using an intelligent system. HTML. Let me write HTML. It is giving me some idea. So here I'm going to talk about forms, only forms, which are part of HTML. I'm giving a relevant title. Any questions here? No. Now, first form is a tag. What is a tag? Parent tag. Form tag is a parent tag. Inside a form, whatever the 19 elements which are written, shall I write as quickly as possible? Okay, sir. Syntax is lesser than input. This is the input tag. Type and name is mandatory attributes. Who are they? Type, name, which is mandatory. That is the reason mandatory attributes are by default is coming. Here I can go for, sir, I'm a smart developer. So what I'll do, how many input elements are there? How many we learn? Go back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus this one is again 19. So that what I'll do, I'll go back to my code. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm making sense. This is how you have to use shortcut. But when can you use shortcut? If you are expert, then you can go for shortcut. If you're not expert, sit properly, sir. Don't sit, comfortable. Then your brain won't work. Sitting postures. Now here, see, cut, copy, paste. Now, how many lines of code that I have written? Only one line. How many lines of code I copied? 18 lines. Here, the effort is for writing or copying. Who said coding is tough? It is our wrong perception, right? And okay, if you are going with the wrong directions and other places, if you are getting a less packages, who is the loser and sufferer? Don't say that coding is tough. Coding is dead easy. Follow me. Even I am teaching data science also. If anyone wanted to learn data science, and 100% I'll make data science also easy. Whatever the knowledge which I give, I'll make it dead easy. While you are listening my sessions from past almost 1 month, right? Have you faced any difficulties? You are picking up, right? Thank you. So now you see that first, right from the beginning, text box. What is this text box? Name. Why I'm creating this particular text box? Here I'm collecting username. Maybe if it is for first name, it is for last name. Use an appropriate name. Sir, here I'm stopping and again I'm explaining in detail. Sir, here type is an attribute. For this type attribute value, I'm searching for digital pen. Just give me 1 minute. So in the sessions while I'm teaching, I'll be keep saying that this is important point. This is interview question. This point you have to remember. Such kind of things, if I say, please stretch yourself and learn more on that concept. Now here, when you are learning any input elements, it is very, very important. You all can see that this is a text, this is predefined value. What is this? Predefined. But whereas coming to this particular value, it is user. Now I'm teaching some sort of sensitive and best practices. Listen carefully. In HTML, wherever the predefined values are there, you cannot alter the predefined values. That's my point. But whereas coming to the user-defined values, you must always give a relevant text to the user-defined values. You cannot give A, B, C, maybe a name, first element, second element, third element. It is irrelevant names. You should always give relevant names. These are the points to remember. Now, you also can see that type is also predefined attributes. Name is also predefined attributes. Now, without an attributes, this input is invalid. Enough. These points, if you remember, fine. While watching my video, maybe you are having a habit of making a note, right? Buy a notebook which has quality paper. Don't buy a notebook which is a low quality paper. Quality papers, interest will be generated automatically. You have to use a pen also, not a 1 rupee pen, 5 rupees pen. Use at least Park Avenue or any good pen, good paper, so that points to remember when I say you have to use the direct dictionary or any directory or a book. That is a strong evidence that you are learning all the concepts. You are watching my videos, so that it will definitely give an benefits while going for an interview. Simple. Come back here. These points you must remember. Next, what I'm going to do, let me clear my drawings and input type. Second one, what is the second one? Password. And password, what we are going to collect? PWD. I'm giving a name called PWD. Password. Then what is the next one? Hidden. HIDDN. Maybe here, think about it. I'm passing my secret code, PIN number, something PIN. Generally, sensitive data should not be passed within a form. Listen carefully. Sensitive data, there is a multiple ways to form, but sometimes I may have to pass some data which cannot be displayed for an end users, but that has to go to the backend. Hidden text boxes, if you want to create for submitting a data, then input type hidden comes into the picture. Now, what is the next one? File. Input type file. Maybe here, resume. I'm going to upload a resume. Just an example. In that particular case, we'll use file. Next, what is next? Radio. Maybe for a gender. How many radios will be there, sir, generally? Then according to the requirement, generally 2, male or female. Maybe some companies, they will expect transgender, custom. But 2 minimum, maximum is 3. But here I'm not talking about any real world scenario. How tag look like I'm talking. Definitely tomorrow I'll try to explain how real-time scenarios. Let me take registration form, contact form, XYZ form. I'll give you live examples tomorrow. Purely tomorrow, live session. That too, coding. There is no theory part tomorrow. Today I'm just taking theory come coding, but tomorrow it is purely coding. If you miss tomorrow, then gone case. Am I making sense? And tomorrow, if you want to come regularly, today eat less so that you will not fall in sick. Sleep well, you will not fall in sick, so that you can come tomorrow my class. Okay, come back to the concept. After that, check box. Check box. And spelling also, check box, check. No, see, my keyboard is super fast. Here, checkbox, maybe what's that? Maybe skills I am expecting. I'm giving a name, skill. What is next? Submit and reset. That is what we learned. But submit and reset is action items. Always should have a bottom of your form, not in middle. Have you ever seen any submit button in middle of a form? Submit can be placeable only at last of a form. So that now I'm talking maybe email, maybe user mail. Here also I'm collecting email of a user. And next, search. What I'm going to collect? Maybe search query. Whatever is searching query, search query, I can use my name. I'm making sense. What is next? If I'm date of birth, date. Here I'm collecting date of birth or date of death and date of joining. Maybe time. If I use time, date of joining time, date of time, something like that. Joining time, DOJT. So that I should see here I'm using DOB is a common, shortcut. Everywhere DOB means if he's an at least minimum educational background guy, he can understand DOB means date of birth. But DOJT, This is not a popular shortcut. LOL. What is LOL stands for? This is all internet shortcuts, sir. FYI for your information. PFA. Please find attachment. Now the shortcut is bro. 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 Sister also SIS. Sis. That is where 80 years lifestyle came to 40 years. That is also crazy. He has given 40 years. Those who calls bro, sis, oh my god. What is sis, boss? Hi, sis. Oh, okay, fine here. Sometimes don't use shortcuts. If the shortcut is understandable for others, use shortcuts. Here I can make it as date of joining hyphen time, so that this is more meaningful than DOJT. Now it is taking, at least for my time, 30 seconds it's taking, but this is saving someone else's life or not? Making sense? That is what you have to learn from us. Don't learn from syntaxes. Don't join any institute for learning basics. Learn advanced concepts like this. What is next after time? Month. Maybe if you some paper date of month. Date of month also. If someone asks about date of month, you please try to give a month. What is next? Telephone number. Otherwise also I can go, or else otherwise also I can go telephone. Maybe phone number. And I can also go for number. Here I can expect AADHAR, Aadhaar number. Next. Color. Here I can expect custom color, favorite color, favorite color, something like that. Don't give spaces, boss. Hyphen names. Don't give any spaces. I have seen some of the freshers, they are making mistakes. Even after restricting also, they are writing spaces. Don't give value of a name attribute by spaces. It is invalid. It will be definitely difficult for this name is an attribute that can be used for backend people, not for front-enders. Backend team can connect this form, collect the data with the help of name only. That is the name value must be relevant name. Now this is also search query. I can give search hyphen query like this. Am I making sense? But don't give it like this. E hyphen M hyphen mail hyphen. Don't trouble like that, please. And your intelligence, please don't apply here. Just follow what my guidelines is. See, one person is joining too early for this class. Next class. Oh my God. Okay, fine. Now you also can see that Rajesh, your friend, right? Rajesh Ranjan is joining now. Kya karu? Too early for next class. Rajesh. It's okay. He has his own problems. Fine. Come back here. After color, range. In the range, we can also give here maybe price range. Price hyphen range. Whatever it is. Now here we can also decide, sir, start range, end range also we can decide. That we'll try to talk too much later. After that, button, not button. Before that, let me verify my drawing. Date, time, month, color, range, number, tell I have used, button I have used, URL. URL is something which is missing. URL. Okay, here maybe is website URL. I can expect website URL. Am I making sense, sir? Next, what is left? Here button is left, and from this list submit and reset is left. That is very interesting. I'm writing button. For this button, I'm also giving any value. Maybe it is submit. Submit. I'm giving one value called name is submit. Sir, I'm giving name as submit. And here again, I'm using this one as submit. Input type is equal to submit. This name also I'm giving submit form. I'm giving a different name. Don't give the same names for some couple of elements. For radio buttons and checkboxes, you have to give a same name, but not for other elements. I'll tell you why. So for this one, again, there is one more called reset. And here, reset is a name I'm just giving. And if I execute this form, I have saved all the code, right click, open in a browser. If I open this in a browser, this is how your form looks like. Is that a presentable form? Do you think that user is able to understand this form? If you give such kind of forms, user with no matter, next minute, next second, he will close your page. What he is going to understand? He will never ever understand anything, boss. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Now see, this is not a proper form. Form HTML code I have written, but the code, the way how the form is displaying, it is not a proper format. That is where CSS is powerful. That is one thing. Whatever the possibilities that you can make up by using HTML, that you have to do it. Now you see that this is a text box. Is there any way that user can understand, oh, this text box for username or password? No, right? You have to give basic information about a field. That is where in HTML5, there is an attribute called placeholder. What is the attribute name? Placeholder. Here, enter user name, I can call it as like this. Whatever I write, you go back and reload. See, now this is appearing. So this is how people will try to think that this is working. Got my point. Rest all the concepts I'll explain later. Okay. Here, one more important point here. Sir, submit. Now this somewhere there is a button. Where is the button? Where is this guy? Let me inspect and see whether my code is there. Button code is not there, I guess. Input type, button. Oh, this is how it looks like a button. No? Yes. Now see that here, very, very important, boss. I am expecting this has to look like a button. But what is a mistake? You please, I know I have already identified the mistakes. Spelling mistake. You see that bottom. Is there any bottom? By mistake, I have in the place of N, I change it to M. It is by mistake, but I am worried it is not working. But I'm a smart kid. Immediately I have checked it. And Pile is also smart now. Right, madam? Immediately see grab. Oh, this is what? There is an error. Now go back. Change it to button. Come back and reload. Now see that. Now this is how button is looking like. They won't even understand what is this all about. So in order to display the content for it, then value is an attribute. What is that? Value here, I can write either whatever the value that I write, it will try to display the same value. Sir, you see between these two, one is button, another one is submit. Between these two, have you ever noticed any differences in the output? It is 100% interview question. Is there any differences between these two? No, but I'm clicking on button. Is there any action is taking place? I'm clicking multiple times. Nothing action is placed here. But now what I'm doing, you observe, I'm clicking on this. Oh my God, something happened. What is something? That is the difference between an input type button, input type submit. Submit is action item. If you click on submit, form will be submitted. Now it is very, very interesting. You see that in the URL, if you copy this entire URL, copy this URL, I'm pasting here. Now you see that this is your file system, right now, sir? From here, Till here, your folder structure. After that, this is your file name. Till here, it is a file name. After file name, you see that question mark followed by field name and that value. Is there any value that I entered? No, that is the reason empty value, ampersand, second field name and the value empty, and third field name, value empty, fourth field name, names. What is this way? This is called query parameters. What is this called? So this is all very, very important. Query params. The form is submitted. Now, all the values which are there in the form are submitted through the URL. Now, it is a question for everyone. This form, if I submit in a URL, is that a right way to submit this particular form in the URL? Why? If it is, yes, it is wrong. Why it is wrong? Can anyone tell me? Online team, now it is question for Shruti. Why this form should not be submitted through URL? You are speaking, madam, but I am unable to hear you. Okay. So let me give an answer.
It's not defined, sir.
No, even if action is not defined, now the form action is not defined, but still the form is submitted. But it is submitted to the same page. But it is submitted all the values through the URL. Because here the method, what is the form method? Did I define any method for a form? No. The default method for every form, the default method is get. Default method is get. If you are not defining a method, is 100% interview question. If you are not defining a method of a form, the default method is get. Get method always submit a form and form element through the URL. It is insecure. That is the reason I must have to change it to post. If your form contains sensitive data, do not submit your form through get method. Get method always submits the form through the URL. Instead of that, go for a post method. Post method uses HTTP methods. It is secure. Which one is secure? Post. And which scenarios that you have to use post? If your form contains, what is sensitive data in my form? PIN number is sensitive. Password is sensitive. But rest all is okay. But here only two. One is PIN number, another one is password. That's my point. So you have to decide when you are going for an interview, they might ask you a question. How to decide whether I supposed to use get method or post method according to the requirement. What sort of data that I'm collecting? I'm collecting a data from a user. What kind of data? Sensitive data. Then stop sending your form using get. This is, as I already, again, I'm repeating, difference between a get and post. 100% interview question. And second question, what is the default method? That is also interview question, get method. Got my point. Then action, there is one more attribute called action. So this is the place where we have to use server URL. You have to use. You have to talk to the server team. They will give you URL. You have to place it. Now, is there any server team with us? No. That is the reason I'm giving Ash. I'm not going to keep anywhere. If I'm not giving an action attribute, or if I'm giving a Ash value for action attribute, both the cases, form is going to submit in the same page. That's my point. But while working on live application, your form must be submitted to the backend guy. That is the reason you have to talk to the backend. Now it is too early to discuss all this. I'll explain how to submit this information to the backend later for your understanding. But if you are a front-end guy, don't understand how backend code is working. If you are a full stack guy, it is your responsibility to understand both. And I'll try to stop explaining this. Tomorrow, there is an important session. Don't miss your classes. Again, 2 hours I'll try to take. 9 to at least 10:45 I'll try to take. So that, sir, even more interesting concepts which are there in a forms, I'll try to teach all of them. Now today, for this form tag, how many attributes are there for this guy? Only today, how many I teach? Method I teach, and only action I teach. That's all. What is the next one? Method attribute we discussed, and one more attribute is action attribute that is. Apart from this, we also have one more attribute called ENC type, and one more attribute called autocomplete, and one more attribute called no validate. I'll try to teach. This is only exclusively for a form tag, but form elements also have attributes. These form elements also have attributes. I'll try to teach those attributes also tomorrow. I'm listing down today so that you have to read this, guys, and you have to join tomorrow. Who are the attributes of form elements? I'll tell you. However, we learned type today. Type is also an attribute. Then what is another attribute we learn? Name attribute. That's my point. Apart from these two, I'll also teach value attribute, and I'll also teach placeholder. Also, I think we learned today. What is that? Placeholder attribute also we learned. So first three, I'll try to list down here. After name, I think you also learned placeholder. But next, subsequently, you are going to learn value, and you will also learn required. I'll teach you some validation attributes. Validation attributes. I don't want to mix and mixer. Validation attribute, who are there? Required attributes, I'll try to teach. This is for validation. Min length is also one of the attribute. GTH, min length. Can you please tell me opposite to min? Max length. And there is one more min. And there is one more. What is opposite to min? Max and regex. ReGX. There is one more called regular expressions. Can use ReGX, regex. Okay, sir. And few more is there. I'll try to talk about all of them step by step. Few attributes are important for validations. Few attributes are important for other purpose. Now, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, I'll try to wind up. If possible, tomorrow I'll wind up forms. Day after tomorrow, I'll try to start layout. So layout takes 2 days. Then I'll immediately assign a project. And be ready this Saturday. There'll be a test. And also, we'll allocate a project if possible on Saturday. In case if the layout is pending, next week I'll try to allocate a project. Now, when you are working on a project, then you will definitely get a good benefits out of it. Right, sir? Understand? Any questions today's session? Let me know. And I'm going to give a mentors, supporters for each and individual. If you want, I can give you one supporter also, guys. And that supporters are the one who is going to help you to work on the tasks. What is the task today? What is the task today? Whatever I explained, first you have to revise that particular. The first you have to watch my video, task number 1. What do you have to do? 2 videos I am going to upload. One is for revising all the concepts. Second one is for forms. 2 videos you will get an access. Watch my video first. Second thing, yesterday I asked you to write a audio, video examples and image examples. How many people have completed? Raise your hands. Raise your hands like this. Online, can you guys raise your hands? Yeah, Rasya completed. Next, Susmita. Yogananthan. Shruti.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yoga completed. Next. Completed, Shruti?
Yes, sir.
Then why you are not raising hand? Sir, I am raising, sir, but you are not able to see my hand. Is that answer, madam?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Good. Everyone are completed, I guess. Okay. Next. You completed, right? You? Today's work? Every day you have some problems. Even I also have a problem. Yesterday, my tablet is not working. 3 times motions. I was there in bathroom for almost 1 hour. क्या करूं? Because I traveled, I went to Hyderabad. I came from Hyderabad. Hyderabad mein I ate, some mandi biryani. The biryani gave me bumper offer. Today's work. That's why don't postpone your work. कल का काम आज करो, आज का काम अभी शुरू करो. How many people understand this proverb? I don't know. For Hindi guys, they can understand. For English people, I am telling you, don't procrastinate. Tomorrow's work start today. Today's work start now. There is no procrastination. Sir, if you want to grow, you have to burn like a sun. Then only you can glow. Sun is burning every time, right? Is burning. That is the reason he is giving a light to everyone. If sun sleeps, oh my God, then the entire universe has to die, isn't it? Sun, what do you have to learn from sun? He is burning and is giving light to others. What do you have to learn from sand, soil? Patience. No matter what nonsense that we are keeping inside a land, still land is accepting all. You should also have a patience. That's all for today's session. Thank you so much. Happy learning, happy coding. I don't want to waste your time and others' time.